first and foremost, I'm very humbled and flattered and honored to be up in front of this distinguished room for a guy who grew up in Waterville. As Mr. Rogers summarized, a lot of us from Waterville gravitated to this place as a wide-eyed 10-year-old kid being introduced to this place, to a retired entrepreneur and community leader. It's weird to even look in the rearview mirror, and how I summarize it to people when I'm out and about, I owe Sugarloaf my life. That's a pretty powerful statement, and it's the truth. I have, I'll get to my timeline in a minute, but I have, as Tom alluded, I live a life second to none. I'm very grateful for it. It wouldn't have happened without my Sugarloaf life, my entrepreneurial career, and frankly, the reason that I succeeded here was you guys. You know, I have 10,000 friends, and it's all because of my career and this great community, and I'm flooded with gratitude, and I owe all of you a great deal of thanks for everything that I have. So I just wanted to start with my underlying emotion is gratitude, and I'm a really lucky guy. So as Mr. Rogers alluded to, a lot of us from Waterville gravitated to Sugarloaf. You know, when I was a kid, this, not only is it big and majestic and beautiful, but it was the place to be when we grew up in Central Maine, right, Pete? I mean, we got here and it's like, oh my God, this place is magnificent. So I was introduced in 1971-72 by my friend Mike Runcer. He owns Valley Beverages in Anheuser-Busch.
He's supposed to be here too.
Yeah, I know. He's probably up sampling the beverages up in the beach. We'll forgive him for that. But his family introduced me to this place, and it was love at first sight. And you know, through Waterville High School, a lot of Waterville is here. I know Dr. Kuntz is here, and many of us love it here. So I skied through Waterville High School. I caught the tail end of the Red Stallion. I wasn't a veteran like many people in the room, but I'm grateful for those fuzzy memories at the end of my high school and college career. Went to University of Maine, and I remember distinctly buying the Sugarloaf Pass for $99, unlimited skiing, and we took full advantage of it. My parents had bought a place down in Sugarloaf Village in 1980, so we had a foundation and a landmark for the rest of my life to be a Sugarloafer. And I remember when I got to be drinking age, in quotes, Lloyd, I remember Jenny Needham and Skippy and Mr. Rogers, and I wanted a piece of that. You know, I wanted to be one of the cool kids on the block, like many of you are in this room. And it's cool one day to be a part of that club. I was in corporate America after I graduated from college, and I wanted Sugarloaf. And my partner, Bob Thomas, who became my partner, in 1988 said, hey, Hyatt's for sale. We should take a swing at that. And I was like, with what? You know, we had nothing but joints in our pockets and 12 packs of beer, but I remember I went to, we got the data, we got the sales. You know, you didn't mention Dick and Martha Hyatt, a huge part of our community. You know, they are also pioneers and part of the original landscape of this thing. And they had passed away at that point, and you know, the store had plateaued and declined a little bit, and the numbers weren't great. So we got that data. We went and saw John Witherspoon down at Kingfield Bank with nothing. We had nothing but desire. And to this day, I still don't remember how the hell we did it, but John gave us the loan, and we bought Hyatt's Country Store on June 19th, 1989. And excuse my language, but I was scared shitless. And, you know, and this community, no offense to us, is slow to accept people from far away. Is that fair? And we felt it. You know, we were new. I was 27 years old. And we could tell that we were an outsider. We knew it, you know, even though we had been here a lot of our lives. So how did we overcome that? We went drinking every friggin' night. You know, we went out and met you and said hello and tried to be nice, and we're the new owners of Hyatt's, and it took a year or two to to be accepted. And we asked people what they wanted, and we tried to bring in what they wanted, and we slowly filled the shelves up. And you know, a lot of people in this room are entrepreneurs. I represent the Sugarloaf entrepreneurial spirit. There's a lot of us here. Lloyd, Bobby, Mr. Rogers. Once you get to be part of that team, we're in it together. You know, we really genuinely care about each other's successes. And I learned a lot from Lloyd and Tiger and Jay and you know, and you listen and you learn, and it was invaluable education. So Lloyd, I do thank you to this day. You know, I'm a lucky guy. So we worked and worked and worked. In 1994, Warren Cook came to us and said, we're going to build a grocery store down at the gateway to Sugarloaf, and we want you guys to consider it. I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, I'm still a young guy. I'm only 30, 31 years old. Short story long, Sugarloaf sold us the land. I think it was $40,000. It was a bargain. And we built the store from ground up, which stands to this day and is an incredibly vibrant, important part of the community. And I'm honored and proud to say that we were the builders and the pioneers. And Clem Began built our store. Another shout out to Clem Began. So on my personal timeline, I now had my hands full. You know, I had 2 thriving stores in a really cool community that was growing around us, and it was busy and it was stressful. It was easier said than done. I remember we wanted to be open Christmas week of 1995, and it wasn't going to happen. We weren't there, so we just opened anyways on December 26, 1995, because we needed that revenue. You know, we needed that. We didn't have cooler doors, but the place was mobbed, and we were like, uh-oh, you know, we're on to something here. And that's luck, you know, good luck, grateful for the supportive community, and we were off and running from there. On a personal note, in 1998, my daughter, Nicole Beaupre, was born in Carrabassett Valley, Maine. You know, and I'm jealous of her, because I'm a Sugarloafer since, say, 1971. She has the coolest title. She's a Sugarloafer since birth. How cool is that? And, you know, I just spent some time out with her in Colorado skiing, and we talked mostly about this great town and how lucky we are, you know, her to be born here and me to be supported. And I thank you all. In 2000, we were offered another opportunity in and amongst the entrepreneurial community, Sugarloaf Groceries, the convenience store up on the hill. We took that over, a long-term lease with Sugarloaf. It was cool. I liked that store. I spent every weekend up there. I spent every vacation week up there because it was busy and it was vibrant and it was fun. You know, skiers in and out of there, and another nice addition to our portfolio and further ingrained us into what we do. One other part of my career, I just want to mention this real quick because it's a shout out to my fellow bar and restaurant owners. We were the liquor wholesalers to 30 bars around the community. The state mandated, you know, the pricing and the supply chain. And how cool for me to get to go to every single bar and meet every bar manager, every waitress, every owner. You know, I had a front row seat to everyone's success. You know, I was a teammate. You know, I was part of their success, and it was a great job. I mean, I was the delivery boy. I made sure that I did it, and so that I go out and flirt with the waitresses and, you know, have some fun and maybe have a beer or 2 along the way. But it was a cool part, and I guess where I'm going with that is the unity of the entrepreneurial spirit in this community. Nowhere in our whole country is that, right, Lloyd? I mean, we give a shit about each other. We want each other to succeed. We care about that great mountain. We care about the 3 generations that we had the pleasure to work with. And it's the part I miss most now as a retired entrepreneur. You know, the community and the people. But that entrepreneurial spirit is really, really powerful. And he knows what I'm talking about. In 2002, I probably had the biggest break of my life. I was down at Sugarloaf Brewing Company, which was the rack before the rack. I know Jeffrey's here somewhere. And Jim McManus owned it. And I was sitting there at Memorial Day weekend. I may have been a little drunk. played the two-man scramble at the magnificent Sugarloaf Golf Club, another important part of the history of this great town and resort, Sugarloaf Golf Club. And this, I was divorced and having problems, and this beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman came walking in. And I was good gobsmacked at first sight. Her name's Tracy. I had to clean up some personal messes in the next few months after I met her that night. We actually were driving, I was driving a 1988 Lincoln Continental. This is good Sugarloaf color right here. 1988 Lincoln Continental, because I was too broke to afford anything else. And the five of us jumped in the car. Greg Roy, we all know Greg Roy, myself, this new pretty girl that I was smitten with, her friend, and another friend named Mike. We decided to go up to the hill and have more to drink, because we should. Then we had an even greater idea. Let's go to Judson's and finish this thing off. Judson's, another important part of our colorful history. On the way down the access road, I may have been distracted by this pretty girl who would one day become my wife. I look up, we hit a frickin' moose. Up and over the Lincoln Continental and down the back. I was like, oh. Short story long, the moose didn't make it. We did. That beautiful girl that I was smitten with that night has been my wife for 16 years, and she's the love of my life to this day. So I owe this community that too. I wouldn't have met my wife without the greatness of this community. She happened to be there. I happened to be here. Lucky me. Lucky me. On my career trajectory in 2009, Annie's Market down in Kingfield closed up shop, and I'm not going to editorialize on that. But our bank was the mortgage holder and offered it to us. Hi, Sue. Speaking of Waterville, Maine. How are ya? And we took over Annie's Market in 2009, and it really rounded out our portfolio of businesses. It was way less seasonal. It was high volume. It's a great store. I love Annie's Market. And thank you to you folks for supporting what I did. I wouldn't have been successful without the support I've received. So on the back end of my career, I built a marijuana store. That's what you should have done. A marijuana store in Carrabassett Valley? Who'd have thunk it? And it was kind of the first domino toward my eventual retirement. People wanted that marijuana license. I was lucky again. And a marijuana company bought out Ayet's. We sold to Sarah and Mike Thomas, the Mountainside store, about 2 years ago. They are doing a magnificent job. A magnificent job. And I couldn't be any prouder. They have the Carrabassett Valley spirit. They have the Sugarloaf spirit. They're working their asses off, just like I did. And they're my age when I did it. And I couldn't be prouder. We sold our Annie's store to my manager and her partner. So proud of them. Again, carrying on what we worked hard to create. Again, they're getting the support of the community. That's the only way we can succeed, right? Right? We need you. We needed you. We're grateful for you. And that's the end of my career. The one other thing I wanted to talk about real quick. In the year 2000, I was elected to the Carrabassett Valley Board of Selectmen. One of the greatest honors of my whole life. And I got to hold that seat for 24 years. To go from a young kid from Waterville, Maine, pie-eyed at the greatness of this hill, to a community leader is really humbling. And what an honor to have held that seat for 24 years. To give you guys perspective on the growth of this great community, I think the day I was elected, Bobby, you can help me here, the town valuation was about $265 million, give or take. The day I stepped down, $1 billion with a B. That's the growth and valuation of this great town. And it's us. We grew with it. You guys, the pioneers, started it, and we grew it. And this town is a jewel. Everywhere I go, people comment on the greatness of our community. lucky. You know, we got 24-hour police. We got this shuttle system, second to none. We've got an anti-gravity center. We've got the golf course. We've got the outdoor touring center. And another thing that I want to talk about is the partnership between the town and the mountain. Unheard of anywhere in North America, right? It's so unusual, and it's so successful. They needed us. We needed them. And it has worked, in my estimation, magnificently for a long frickin' time. And the proof is in the pudding. I just wanted to wrap up with a couple current events that I'm involved with that I'm proud of. One is this book. Ed talked about it. That's the one you were talking about. I'm assuming everyone in the room has seen or read it. I was lucky to be the person of the committee when we first launched this thing, the Carabasset Valley History Committee. And then it grew quickly, and Jean Luce, Bobby's mom, became the chairperson because of her historical perspective on our great town and the resort and what we are. And our goal was to write a book on the 50th anniversary of the town of Carabasset Valley, and we did it. So here's the punchline. Not only is this thing great, you can buy it down at Mountainside Grocers. That's where I just bought mine for a prop. We just got an email 2 months ago. This is cool as hell. From the International Ski History Foundation. We won the best regional ski history book of the year. I mean, so at first I was like, is it some hokey thing? You know, what is this thing? Is it? So I told Ginny Wright, who's our author, you got to go. You know, you've got to go accept this award. Ginny does not like publicity, unlike someone who's talking to you right now. And she said, John, I really don't want to do it. So I asked Jean to go out, Bobby's mom, because she was the backbone to this thing. And she said, John, I don't want to go because, for whatever reason. Guess who gets to go accept the award? So on April 9th, I'm going out on behalf, I wanted to bring this up today because it's us. This is not my award. It's not the committee's award. It's us. We are that book, right? And for me to be able to go out there and grab this award on behalf of us, I'm so honored. So I just wanted you all to hear that because it's us. It's not me. What's that?
It's on the way to a game somewhere.
Well, I may tie that into it, but you know, that's besides the point. And it's out at Snowbird. It's the real deal. The International Ski Hall of Fame induction is the next day. It's this thing. So anyways, congratulations to all of us. One last current event. I am lucky enough to still be involved in some community stuff. I'm the chairperson of the Affordable Workforce Housing Initiative. And the reason I am is because, number one, you guys have been great to me. I wanted to give back on my way out the door. And my daughter lived with me for about a year when I founded the marijuana company. Father owning a liquor store, daughter running a marijuana company, parent of the year. But my daughter said, Dad, if I didn't live with you, I'd be homeless. This town has gotten expensive. We know that. That's true. So I rounded up an affordable workforce housing committee with the help and support of the Carabasset Valley Select Board. This past Wednesday night at the town meeting, the town approved an ordinance to embrace the concept of an affordable workforce housing initiative. We got 19 acres of land from Weyerhaeuser, and it's up on Bigelow Hill on the left. This is important stuff for this community. This is the next generation to have what we have. You know, we're lucky. We could afford to buy houses, and however we did it. This next generation needs our help. It's going to be a $10 or $12 million project. Mark is our executive director. Lloyd's on our board. Might be some other board members here. We have about $2 million through grants and subsidy from Senator Collins' office. But we're going to be doing a fundraising initiative over the next 6 to 12 months. If you see something in your mailbox and you want to help the next generation, think about it. I'm not here to say give money. Obviously we're going to need it. But that's kind of my next cheerleader rah-rah project, and it's for the next generation. It's not from us. Our board ponied up 25 grand out of our own checkbooks, so we're putting our money where our mouth is. I just wanted to end. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a life second to none. I am the proudest, luckiest sugarloafer in this room. You all can be tied for second if you want. But I lead a life second to none because of you folks and this great community. I thank you.